Welcome into Clipboard Conversations. I'm John Folke alongside Hornets head coach James Borrego. Coming up, we're going to talk trends over the last week, take some questions from fans. We got some good ones as we do each and every week, and of course we'll take a look ahead as well. But Coach, coming off the West Coast road trip, you go 2-2 out there, a couple of losses to the Lakers and Clippers, but a couple of come from behind wins against the Sacramento Kings and the Golden State Warriors. Let's hit on those last two games of the trip. What did you see out of your team? Finding ways to win when they were down, finding ways to win maybe when the shots weren't falling, or when the opponent was taking some things away that you guys have been so good at?
Yeah, I was proud of our group. You know, they found a way to dig in, pull out those two wins. You know, in this league, you got to win in multiple ways. There's not one way every single night to win an NBA game. You just got to find that way every single night, and our guys have done that. So really proud of their effort in both those wins, to stay resilient, not to get their heads down, our heads down, stick with it, keep playing together, keep playing for one another. I think we saw that especially in that second half of the Sacramento game, then the second half of the Golden State game, the resiliency to stick with it. Those shots weren't going down, stuck to our defense, our principles, and found a way to win.
Time for maybe my favorite segment. I don't know about you, but Ask JB, where
what do we have last week? Vegetables.
We had vegetables. We got some different ones this week, so we thank everybody who submitted them, submitted the questions. Again, follow the Hornets across all their social media channels, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, everything, as we'll be sourcing your questions throughout the week. So we're going to start with this one, and it comes from @PatrickConnor7. We just talked about Cody Martin. Did he earn more playing time with the way that he played against Golden State?
Well, he's definitely on my radar every single night. There's situations right now where I could see Cody filling those roles, those spots, especially with Nick out of the lineup right now. So absolutely, he's earned more attention from me, and I believe in him. I really do, and I think it shows down the stretch. How we put him in the game there in crunch time. We believe in the kid. And I'll continue to look for him.
And I think the other thing too, you don't just look at the 4.5 minutes that he played against Golden State. I mean, if you're thinking about playing time, it's what he does in practice, how he prepares for the game, and that's the way it is for everybody.
For sure, and he's one of our best workers. I mean, I just walked down the steps right now from the court, and he's up there working on his shot, working on his passing, his defense. Our player development program continues to, grow these young men and these talents, and he's one has really bought in right from the start.
Okay, we're going to go, I believe, across the pond for this one. It's British_Buzz. So @British_Buzz. What areas of defense are the coaching staff focusing on with Miles? And we saw him put together a couple of really good defensive games on that West Coast trip.
The number one thing is physicality. He has the physical tools, the athleticism, the ability to be a stopper for us. And I think we saw that in the LA series when we played, the Clippers and the Lakers. He was much more physical there with LeBron, much more aggressive with Kawhi. I want to see that night to night. So having the physical presence out there, having an impact on that end of the floor. Then weak side defense, we'll continue to hit him on that. It's something that's he's growing in that area. When the ball's away from him, having the awareness to help and be in shift and closing those gaps and protecting the rim. One of these things we've talked about is protecting the rim. He has that ability, the athleticism and explosiveness to go protect some shots around the rim. So I'd say those are the few areas we're really focusing on.
Here's one from @DanielTapp. Who is the funniest player off the court?
Funniest player off the court.
And maybe to follow it up, who's the funniest player on the court?
Oh boy, that's a good one. Devontae is very funny. Like, he's underrated. He goes under the radar, and I catch him in these moments when he doesn't know I'm watching, and he's busting guys up. So I'd say Devontae. Devontae.
He's been a great player on the court. He's funniest off the court. I like this. We'll wrap up with our final one from @TylerBecker. How have you used the expectations that maybe the national media had during the offseason to motivate this team coming into this season?
I've not had to use it much. Our players understand it. They know it. They know what people were saying about our group. If I have to use it at times, I will. But look, our guys understand what's at stake here. They want to get better. They want to prove people wrong, but they want to get better themselves. So there's a number of factors here that motivate our guys. That is one factor. I have not had to use it much. I think they understand what people believe about us.
And they don't have bulletin boards anymore, so do we call it whiteboard material? What do we?
Whiteboard? So it's, social. We need a social media board,
it's
or
like your Pinterest, right?
Pinterest board, Facebook board, whatever you want to call it, right?
Well, we thank you for all of your questions. Again, follow the Hornets across all their social media channels. We'll be asking for your questions throughout this season for Ask JB here on Clipboard Conversations. We're going to wrap things up, taking a look at the week ahead next, right here on Hornets.com. Final segment here, we take a look at the week ahead on Clipboard Conversations. And Coach, after 4 on the West Coast, it's good to be back home. I always heard coaches say the hardest game coming off a West Coast road trip is that first one, because you're trying to get home, maybe get caught up on your errands, see your family. How do you guard against that?
Well, I think, our guys got to understand we have a great opportunity in front of us, that we got to come in and defend our home court. There's a little bit of, we've won a few games, you're home now. There's this mentality to relax, and we can't relax. We got to amp it up now. I want them to turn it up even more right now, use this home court advantage to go out and be motivated and produce over the stretch of games for us. So we do not want to settle on these 2 wins. We want to be more aggressive right now.
And so you've got Indiana on Tuesday. Then looking ahead, it's going to be Kemba's return. And you
returns this week.
it's reunion week.
Reunion week.
You went through this last year when Tony Parker went to San Antonio, and you kind of saw the reception for a player. Now you're kind of on the opposite end, where Kemba's going to be coming to Boston. What are your expectations or anticipation of how the fan reaction is going to be? How maybe emotional it'll be with him back and it being a nationally televised game?
Well, it's a big game. There's going to be a lot of emotions out there for both sides, particularly for Kemba. Teammates that he's, sweated with, bled with, he's competed with for a number of years. It'll be an emotional night. At the end of the day, it'll become a game, and there'll be a lot of emotion in the arena, and we got to tap into that emotion and harness it the right way. It'll be a very competitive game and competitive environment, which is great. I love it for our young guys, this group, to fill that sort of, don't want to call it a playoff type atmosphere, but it'll have that type of energy in the crowd that night. So it'd be great to see Kemba as well. I think, for the fans to embrace him, love him, I think they'll wrap their arms around him for a day at least and give him the love he deserves and the support that they've shown to him all these years.
And Terry Rozier, we should mention, facing off against his former team. Does it help, Terry, you guys, just kind of everybody, that we already did this once, sort of, with the preseason game at Boston? So you kind of got a little. I
think we got a little taste. I think it got a little bit out of, a little bit of that. I think just coming back now to Charlotte will be a little bit of a different dimension for the game. But I think it's good for Terry to get that first one out of the way in Boston. Got to see everybody out there and, show, and he felt the love as Kemba did, or will feel on Thursday night. So I'm excited for both guys. It's going to be a very competitive game. I know Terry's excited for that. But obviously we got a big one here first with Indiana.
Yeah, and you talk about the opportunity here with Indiana, Boston, and then looking even further ahead, the Philadelphia 76ers. And so 3 games against Eastern Conference teams that are going to be competing for some of the top spots in terms of the playoff picture in a couple of months, but a good opportunity for your team to see how you stack up against these teams.
Yeah, we'll know a lot more about our team after this week. Mm-hmm. 4 very competitive games, very good quality teams, well-coached teams that are, as you said, are going to be pushing here in the Eastern Conference. So we're going to be tested. I like that we're home. We have some home cooking, and I want our guys to play with that spirit, to not just relax, but I want to build on what we did, on this road trip. I thought we got better. Let's bring it home, not relax. Let's build on it.
It's going to be a lot of fun. Get your tickets at Hornets.com. Coach, thanks so much for your time.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Head coach James Borrego right here on Clipboard Conversations.